Under your feet, do you know how deadly a knife you carry? A hockey player, a giant watermelon, and all his belongings in front of him with razor-like skate shattered in seconds, shocked. What is this test of ice skates? Proves to be a dangerous cutting tool. Always be extra careful when on ice. How did this ball get into the mouth of the lion statue? If there is no way to get the ball out, they scratch their heads wondering how they got in. According to legend, the statue was made with the help of a natural. Everything is completely culture shaving technique. Carefully carve out the lion's mouth, left to be chipped in the form of a ball. Ball is shaped to move freely. But inside the lion it stays trapped. Only those who understand click like engineers. How can he fix a giant bent steel with only fire? Impossible at sight. Looks like yes, your steel. There is a big bulge in the middle of the worker. First, it just warms that area in our purse. Then a wet cloth on it. He puts it in a moment. Steam comes out and metal slowly. It starts to return to its old shape. What about their special chemical on it? No, just water. The main event is the metal warming and cooling. When a small area of steel is heated, that part expands. But the cold metal around him won't let it. That's why the hot zone is stuck. And a very small change of shape. It's happening, but it's not as easy as it seems. Send it to the master who can do it. Man to a small pipe. A lot of holes opened the pipe, and half of it was visible next to the berries. Then a few leaves of fruit garbage in the pipe, and thin. He threw paper and covered it so that no insects could get into. So the worms entering through holes by consuming the materials inside and coming out of the hole. Useful substances for plants that travel in the roots of wood that leave behind. Plants would grow healthier and faster. This is Grandpa's ear. Continuously for more than many drugs were tried, but none were effective. No doctor while examining. The doctor was immediate. It turns out that he noticed a blockage in his ear. It's when the doctor took her out slowly. It turns out that if you like what comes out of you and you don't cut out of your house, your grandfather's ears don't ring anymore. Look, sometimes trains can leave stones on their rail. Train these stones at high speed. Serious danger can occur when it hits. To reduce this risk, front of some train, a special metal for the part plate is placed on this piece pilot. Plate called stone on rails. If there is a piece of wood or other obstacle, as the train approaches, this metal plate obstacle directly to the side. Have you noticed this on trains before? Why aren't house foundations made like this in Turkey? Unnecessarily in the ground at first glance. Looks like tons of concrete is pouring, yeah. But in England, this method has been used for decades. Instead of covering the whole floor with one piece of concrete, they graving deep indexes where bearing walls will come from. When they reach solid ground, they pour a strip into the channels. The whole weight of the walls when the house rises, directly on these concrete strips. That is, concrete just really used in load-bearing points. This is more economical in some structure, can also be more practical. After the concrete hardened, foundation walls are built on it, and then this system is being prepared on the ground. It works very well, especially in heavy brick houses because the look carries very well. What do you think the call? A sticky transparent liquid is starting to leak. Actually, it's not just water when digging the ground. Only water seems to be used. But actually a gel-like liquid is used. Well, not thermomet. It's called a kind of lubricant, called the abracot. Deep, enormous pressure around. There is a risk that the walls will collapse at this point. Normal water walls cannot hold and collapse, but when using high-density trimmer mat, collects the scraped soil dust and brings it to the arsal, covers the walls and prevents them from collapsing. Only those who understand like there's only one candy sold for hundreds of dollars in a pack, and it is not a special sugar produced in this laboratory. Very ordinary looking Sarakaya candy. Americans officially admire this sugar because the method of really different. Sugar first. They don't use their cane directly, each with straw. This process is wrapped and smoked. It condenses the juice of the cane, gives a sooty aroma, and makes sugar last longer without spoiling. Then the reeds are crushed in an old stone mill, blood essence for 3 to 4 hours in large boiled on low fire, finally poured into wooden barrels, a few days later in gold, turning into rock sugar crystals, used to toast. Bread is placed in the bowl and press the button. They would fry the part close to the heat source, then, by activating the mechanism when they press the other button. This invention used to fry the other side of the bread in the same way. Although it looks nice at first, you accidentally put your hand on the heat. If you are worth it, it could cause a small burn. Vacuum truck construction can save companies from millions of lira damage. Replace the traditional excavator bucket. A strong vacuum soil with Sista pulling underground reveals cables and pipes without damage, so that the bottom during excavate reduced risk of damage to the structure. Sensitive work can be done much more safely, so vacuum excavation system increasingly preferred in the construction industry. Phones from a technology vendor. The phone showed why they shipped it without any fear. First fixed by vacuum film and inside the box, never moves. Then 3-layer ultra. Wrapped in a solid carton, the box is like a transformer's, folds and closes like this packaging. After seeing, it seems almost impossible to damage the phone. If you squeeze the strange swelling in the nose of a capybara, a white dense liquid may come out of it. But it's not a pimple or a scar. In fact, this is a special smell that capybaras have. Based capybara larbubisit. He uses his nose like a living stamp on the rocks, or else rubbing on surfaces leaves behind a distinctive smell, and so marks his territory. Both female capybaras have this cloth, but especially dominant men at the top of the hierarchy can be much bigger. Why doesn't this machine shine like glass? But it's serrated. Normally people think the smoother it is, the better it glows, but the opposite in these machines. Oluyo masters even scratch the surface and they rail small traces like fish scales on it. It's not done randomly. The master is slowly correcting the surface. It makes little marks everywhere. So these traces, what does it do? It holds the oil because the rail, if the surface is completely flat, oil may get stuck. Then metal rubs metal, which both wear and degrade the precision of the machine. But these little marks keep the oil on the surface, so a thin layer of oil remains on the rail. The machine slips more easily, wears less, and it cuts more accurately. Do industrialists know that fingerprints of employees remain on the brand's clothes? And it's definitely not a mistake on employees during production. You wear special gloves with a small amount of colored paint. The traces they left while sewing and processing one of the designs turns into a piece, so that every piece produced traces of the person who prepared it, and it has a completely unique look.